watching Just the News. I'm Amata Balachandra. We have a lot to get through today, starting off with Russia-Ukraine conflict. At an emergency meeting called by the UN Security Council, India has said the escalation of tension along the Russia-Ukraine border is a matter of deep concern. Now, the UNSC called for an emergency meeting on Tuesday after Putin recognized the independence of two separatist regions in eastern Ukraine. Now, T.S. Tirumurti, who is India's permanent representative to the United Nations, said, and I quote, "The immediate priority is de-escalation of tensions, taking into account the legitimate security interests of all countries and aim towards securing long-term peace and stability in the region and beyond," end quote. India asked all sides to intensify diplomatic efforts to reach for an amicable solution at the earliest. In the meantime, a third advisory has come in from India. On Tuesday, it's asked students again to leave Ukraine temporarily. A statement by the Indian Embassy in Kiev said, and I quote, "Students are advised in their interest of their safety to leave Ukraine temporarily rather than wait for an official confirmation from universities," end quote. In the meantime, Russian president has ordered troops into two rebel-held regions in eastern Ukraine after recognizing them as independent states. Now, Russia said that the troops would be peacekeeping in the breakaway regions, which it has backed, it said, since 2014. In an hour-long address on Monday, Mr. Putin said Ukraine was an integral part of his country's history and described eastern Ukraine as an ancient Russian land. Now, he also said that Ukraine never had, and I'm quoting him, a genuine statehood. On Ukraine's NATO membership, Putin said, and I quote, "If Ukraine was to join NATO, it would serve as a direct threat to the security of Russia," end quote. Now, in response to this, Ukraine president has also delivered a speech and said that Ukraine was not afraid and would not yield anything to anyone. He also noted that Russian president used the same platform, which is the Munich Security Conference of 2007, to deliver a speech in which he openly challenged the post-Cold War order. Now, he went on to say, and I quote, "How did the world respond? With appeasement?" He also said that, and I quote him, "We have the right to ask for a move from the appeasement policy to action," end quote. Now, according to a report by the BBC, UK Prime Minister has announced sanctions against 5 Russian banks and 3 billionaires. Now, the 5 banks and the 3 high net worth individuals, a sanction will see any UK assets frozen. Boris Johnson has told the Member of Parliament, and I quote, "The UK and our allies will begin to impose the sanctions on Russia that we have already prepared to sanction Russian individuals and entities of strategic importance to the Kremlin," end quote. Now, the sanctions announcement come after Johnson chaired an early morning meeting with security chiefs, after which he vowed to hit Russia very hard. This is according to the report by AFP. Germany, in the meantime, has announced that that it has also taken steps to halt the approval process for Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline from Russia. Now, amid sanction warnings, Central Bank in Russia has said that it is ready to take all necessary measures to support financial stability. According to a report by Reuters, the central bank has said banks would be permitted to use the market value of stocks and bonds in their portfolios as of February 18th in earnings reports until October. Now, China has also responded. According to a report by Reuters, China's foreign minister has expressed concerns over what he calls the worsening situation in Ukraine. Detailing a call with US Secretary Antony Blinken, a statement by China has said that it's calling on all parties to exercise restraint and that the legitimate security concerns of any country should be respected. Moving away from this big story now to what's happening in Karnataka, starting off with the Bajrang Dal member murder case. According to a report by ANI, it's reported that the Karnataka police have now arrested 6 people and questioned several others in connection with this case. Now, to give you a bit of a background, 26-year-old Harsha was murdered late Sunday night by a group of men. There were reports of arson and stone throwing in the city on Monday during his funeral procession as well. Section 144 of the CRPC has now been extended for 2 more days, which is till Friday morning in Shagamu. Moving on to Hijab ban controversy in the state of Karnataka. The Karnataka High Court was told by the state government that deeming wearing of hijab as an essential religious practice of Islam would compel Muslim women to wear a particular dress. Now, Advocate General argued that if wearing a hijab becomes religious sanction by the way of court order, Muslim women would become obligated to wear it, including those who do not want to wear it. He said, and I quote, "It hits at the liberty of that individual, the choice to wear what we want and choice to not wear what we do not want. Every woman of every faith has that choice. There cannot be religious sanction by way of judicial declaration," end quote. Now, of course, this is an ongoing case that's been going on for the last 1 week in Karnataka High Court. The arguments will be heard again tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, there were reports, of course, coming in from Udupi, where the Karnataka police have now registered a case of rioting and causing hurt after a mob attacked the brother of one of the hijab petitioners and allegedly vandalized their eatery as well in Udupi on Monday night. Now, according to the police, around 50 people barged into the eatery owned by the petitioner's father around 9:30 p.m. when they were closing up for the night. Officers have said that the mob assaulted the petitioner's brother, heckled her father, and pelted stones at the eatery, shattering the eatery's window panes as well. According to Indian Express, the petitioner's brother has now been hospitalized. Nobody in the mob has also been identified. Also in the news, the INB ministry has blocked the digital media resources of foreign-based Punjab Politics TV, which it is said is linked to the proscribed Sikhs for Justice outfit. In a statement, the INB ministry has said that it has, and I quote, ordered blocking of apps, website, and social media accounts of foreign-based Punjab Politics TV for having close links with Sikhs for Justice, an organization that's been declared unlawful under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967. Moving on to COVID news right now, first starting with Madhya Pradesh, which has now lifted all COVID restrictions. The state government has said that it expects the people to follow social distancing and to wear masks at all times. Meanwhile, Uganda is planning to impose fines on people who refuse to be vaccinated against COVID, and those who fail to pay could be sent to prison under a new public health law, which lawmakers are scrutinizing. Now, Reuters has said that only a third of Uganda's population has been vaccinated against COVID. Going on to business news right now, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that the government is going ahead with the initial public offer of life insurance corporation as, and I quote, this is what she said, "There is a buzz in the market and interest," end quote. Now, she, however, also added that they are equally worried if the market situation is conducive or not. Meanwhile, oil prices are now moving up. It's closer to $100 per barrel. According to the international benchmark, it's reached a 7-year high of $99.3 per barrel. The last time Brent exceeded $99 per barrel was in September 2014. In the meantime, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also went on to say the government is currently monitoring rising crude oil prices as oil prices hit near $100 per barrel. However, petrol prices have not increased in India over the last few weeks. It's also impacted stock markets across the world as investors are now bracing up for losses. Sensex fell 383 points and Nifty ended near 17,100 today. Moving on to sports news, tennis star Novak Djokovic has registered his first win of 2022 after defeating his Italian counterpart at the Dubai Championships. on Monday. Now, it was Djokovic's first match this year after his Australian Open controversy, wherein he was reported, if you remember, as he was not vaccinated, which he later also went on to say that he would be willing to miss tournaments in an exclusive interview with BBC, that he's not against vaccination, but it is one's freedom to choose, he said. And one piece of good news before we wrap things up here on this bulletin: 9-year-old Riyaj Surani has set a Guinness World Record to become the world's youngest certified yoga instructor. Now, he has been practicing yoga with his parents when he was just 4 years old. According to the Guinness World Records Twitter page, the page has said, and I quote, he has completed over 200 hours of intense yogi training, end quote. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.